All right, hey VC, how you doing? Welcome back. My name is Jamie. Hope you had yourself a very nice weekend. Nice to have you back for this Monday. Okay, we've got another unboxing or unveiling for you on this edition, a 50th anniversary release of a group that I absolutely love. This band is certainly in my top 5, and I think this album as well. It's a band that started off as kind of R&B rockers and then went to sort of psychedelic sounds, kind of into psychedelic rock before quickly disbanding. This group was only around from like 1964, 1965 through to about 1969. And then the band members kind of went their separate ways. One of the band members went on to form Humble Pie. The rest of the band then hooked up with Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood to form the Faces. But we are talking about the great mod band from the 1960s. We are talking the Small Faces. Small Faces. And this is the 50th anniversary of their album, Ogden's Nut Gone Flake. A terrific album from 1968. So this is just out, and this is the Deluxe book, CD and book, if you will. I'll just read you the hype sticker here. It is Ogden's Nut Gone Flake, 50th Anniversary Definitive Edition. 3 CD plus 1 DVD, mono plus stereo plus rarities plus DVD. So the DVD has the complete BBC Color Me Pop TV performance, newly remastered for superb sound, fully illustrated 72-page deluxe booklet, rare photos, sleeve notes, era-defining classic #1 album. And there you have it. And #1 in the UK, but not necessarily North America. And yeah, as you can see, very much replicating a tobacco tin, if you will, with this cover. And they do have the Small Faces on the cover, right in the small print, manufactured by Small Faces. And this was on the Immediate label that was run by Andrew Loog Oldham, who was a Rolling Stones manager. And these were certainly his new proteges when they went from Decca to signing with the Immediate label. But what a great band and what a great album. Okay, let's unwrap it and take a look inside. I've just perforated it here at the shrink wrap, so we'll slip that off. And looks nice. Ogden's Nut Gone Flake. And there's the back there. And of course the band members. We've got Kenny Jones, Ian McCleggan, Steve Marriott, and Ronnie Lane. And it's amazing. We only have Kenny Jones left of the band. All the others have passed on. But yeah, let's take a look inside, see what we got. Okay, the CDs are housed right in the front. And that sort of replicates the label initially, again on Immediate. And just some great tracks on this. Certainly the title track, Afterglow, is an amazing song. Lazy Sunday, just fun, British-style humor, very indicative of sort of that Steve Marriott tongue-in-cheek. And then all of side 2, which is kind of like a concept album. Yeah, just a great album overall. And this is when the band was really trying to become an album-oriented band. The band was always known as kind of a singles band, trying to get into album-oriented rock, and this eventually led to the breakup of the group. They didn't release an album after this because they were still being considered a singles band. I mean, there were also other issues. Steve Marriott definitely wanted to go in a heavier direction maybe than the other guys did. Wanted to bring another guitarist into the band, which the other guys didn't want. So Steve Marriott, along with Peter Frampton, forming Humble Pie, and then the rest of the band carrying on, if you will, shortening their name to the Faces and bringing Rod Stewart and Ron Wood into the group. But this is just a fine example of the Small Faces. Not so much their R&B origins, but certainly psychedelic and where they were going. So let's take a look inside and see what we got. And of course the replica there. It's just some great photos of the band. I always like how the band they always kind of looked like they were having a good time, or at least, just kind of messing around, that sort of thing. But certainly with Steve Marriott's vocals, Kenny Jones on drum, and the great keyboard organ work of Ian McCleggan, and with Ronnie Lane also singing and writing as well. They were just a great band, and really a great mod band in terms of their look, and even Pete Townsend of The Who was always a big fan of this group, always a big fan of this group. And I believe the Small Faces and The Who also did some touring together back in the day. But yeah, some newspaper cutouts and some replica posters, if you will. It's really a shame this group couldn't have continued or carried on. I would have loved to seen what they were going to do in the early 70s, but it was not meant to be. And certainly Humble Pie, you know, make no mistake, a great group. And I do like a lot of the stuff with the faces, but for my money, it's just the Small Faces. This band, the Small Faces, are absolutely terrific. So there you have kind of a idea of what's inside. Nice hard booklet, nice book overall. And I do have this previously, not on vinyl, but I do have when they were releasing deluxe editions, and it's fairly similar. So this is the deluxe edition that came out a few years ago, and this is a 3 CD set that just opens up like that, giving you some colorful reproductions there. And the third CD, I believe, is in the first, or is it in... Yeah, it's in the third one here, like that. And just noticing the similarities between the two. This one has the disc one as the mono LP or mono album, as does this box set. And then disc 2 is the outtakes on the small one. Disc 2 is the stereo version, and then disc 3 on this are outtakes. But taking a look at the outtakes, most of them are pretty similar, almost the same listing or song listing, but happy to see that they do have a few more extra tracks. I think there's something like 14 outtakes on this one, and I think it's close to something like 18 on here. So they do give you some extra tracks. And what's very nice is that they do include on this, of course, the DVD, as we mentioned. This is a Color Me Pop Small Faces, so they do a number of the songs from the album, not all of them, on a BBC performance. And they didn't really perform this live because it was, at the time, it would have been a little bit too difficult to replicate what they were doing. But yeah, it's a great album. If you've never checked it out, if you like psychedelic pop or psychedelic rock, you will definitely enjoy this album. And for Small Faces, I definitely have their other stuff on the deluxe editions. This is their first album when they were on Decca, and in terms of nice R&B sound overall. And this was an early kind of compilation of some of the singles that they had, some of the R&B tunes. But this is the example of the Small Faces when they were on the Immediate label, and again really changing their sound. Songs like Eddie's Dreamin', also Here Comes the Nice, Itchy Coo Park, Green Circles, starting to get into that kind of psychedelic sound, and then really perfected with Ogden's Nut Gone Flake in terms of the psychedelic sound. But just an absolutely terrific band, Small Faces. And I think I've got some time to show you a big box set that I have of the Small Faces. This came out a few years ago. The Small Faces, Here Comes the Nice. And this is a massive, massive box set. And I can just show you some of the things inside. Take the lid off there. And this one gives you lots of goodies, including quite a thick book inside. Not only that, but then they give you a full booklet with the lyrics included in that. Some massive, massive posters included. Like that. They're just huge. And then I'll show you one more. And then they also have some photos and postcards, sort of thing. But then they also have some 45 vinyl inside. So they have things like Itchy Coo Park, I'm Only Dreamin', almost like not just 45 but EPs, and many of them colored. Here Comes the Nice on white vinyl. And then an album sampler, so this is a one-sided single album sampler that sort of thing. And then something called like a mystery song or mystery disc, Small Faces. Yeah, and again, as I mentioned, some nice postcards also included that shows you the band members. There you got Kenny Jones, we got there Ian McCluggan, and we've got looks like Ronnie Lane and Steve Marriott. And there you go, the Small Faces. Small Faces, absolutely terrific band. So yeah, I'm going to be certainly enjoying listening to this. Yeah, this is again Ogden's Nut Gone Flake. Well, thanks so much for dropping by, and we'll certainly chat again. And take care, and hit subscribe, and also hit that bell thing too for notifications. Take care, bye bye.